In England, we must therefore go into a national lockdown which is tough enough to contain this variant.
45 days ago, the start of the UK's third national lockdown. But what sort of success has it truly had? Levels of COVID are now in strong decline across England, the view of scientists tracking the pandemic. Hugely encouraging, of course, but the number of new infections still remains high and won't definitely keep falling in the same way.
This is very promising news. Back in January, there was quite a worry about how effective this would work, especially because people were also worried about the new variants. So the fact that we've observed this really clear, significant drop in prevalence is really encouraging. But there's no reason to be sure it's going to carry on indefinitely.
The stats, based on more than 85,000 swab tests in England in mid-January, showed just over 1.5% of people tested positive for COVID. In the more recent tests this month, it fell to 0.51%, but disparities exist. While only 0.3% of over 65s tested positive, possibly due to the vaccine rollout, 18 to 24-year-olds are almost 3 times as likely to have COVID at 0.89%. And there's regional variation too. In areas including London and the West Midlands, infections have fallen by 80%. In Yorkshire and the Humber, it's just 25%. But how much will all this determine when to unlock society? When might care homes, for example, restore face-to-face visits?
Visiting has been really restricted to having to do it behind screens or through windows. And I really want us to be able to enable more visiting. I will say we still have to do it carefully. It can't go completely back to normal, but I am looking forward to being able to set out more of that as part of the roadmap next week.
Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Salam Alaikum.
Tonight, Channel 5 and the UK's other main commercial channels will broadcast this campaign, urging people from ethnic minority communities to get the COVID jab. COVID levels are now back to what they were like in late September. But after more than 6 weeks of lockdown, there's still many more weeks to go.
So, Julian, lots of speculation about what the Prime Minister will announce on Monday, but still nothing certain.
Peter, the truth is that a lot of the data on which these decisions will be shaped is not even in yet. Ministers won't hear the latest R number until tomorrow, for example. Now, Professor Riley, who we saw just there, told me that they've learnt so much in the last year, and what they really know is that patterns can change quickly. So while cases are plummeting at the moment, they know that things might change dramatically when the schools go back in England next month. Of course, the lockdown started in England at the start of January. If you're watching in Wales or Northern Ireland, it started around Christmas. And now we know that Northern Ireland has extended theirs to April the 1st. They've announced that this afternoon. They've gone for that date as they were concerned about a possible rise in cases around St Patrick's Day and the run-up to Easter. What one UK nation does, though, of course, have we learned, often is determines what happens in the other UK nations as well.